It's time for another power-packed episode of Headspace with Dr. Mike. Each week, Dr. Mike is committed to addressing real life, sometimes polarizing and controversial issues, while offering practical and informed insight. Listen in as we discuss hot topics that matter to us and the communities we live in.
What's up, Headspacers?
Good morning.
How's everybody doing? Christy, what's up, girl?
What's up, Dr. Mike?
Lord have mercy. Here we go. We got another episode. We are already at episode 10 of season 2.
Wow.
Woo-hoo. Thank you all, those of you who are tuning in on our live broadcast. Remember, we broadcast live every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And then also want to give a special shout out to those of you who tune in on our podcast. We do the podcast every Sunday after the live session. And it's always nice. Thank you for the messages. Make sure you hit us up on social media, Headspace DM, on all social media outlets to let us know how much you love the show and pass the word. Those of you who are tuning in live, make sure you hit share. Go ahead and hit share now because we want to get some folk out there. And remember, those of you tuning in live, if you have something to contribute to the conversation, by all means, make sure you make it known. Contribute, because we love to get your perspective. Also, special shout out to Elevation Global Media. Thank you so much. We love you. Thank you so much. Our producer today is Crystal Foster. What's up, Crystal? We see you. And thank you so much for making us look good. Christy.
Yes, Dr. Mike.
We have a lot to talk about.
As usual.
We have a lot to talk. Before we go, today is a special day for one of our team members, Christine Thomas. Today
Happy birthday!
Woohoo! Christine, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christine. Happy birthday to you.
Don't sing.
No. Let it go. What'd you say? Say, stick to my
Happy
first.
birthday, Christine. So that'll do it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. What we got to talk about, Christy? What is really going on?
Well, let's talk about Ketanji. We got to start with that.
Madam Honorable Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yes.
I'm ecstatic. I'm tickled.
It's official.
It is official. Well, yeah, it's official. She's been confirmed. Yeah.
Yes.
But she doesn't actually take office until
July.
Whenever Judge Breyer officially retires, and then
I think in July.
Good. All right. So she made it over the hump.
Yes.
It was fascinating watching the vote. First of all, what was interesting watching the vote was to see that it truly was bipartisan. Like it wasn't overwhelmingly bipartisan, but there were 3 Republicans who did say, you know what? No, she beats it. I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
I was talking to my sister about Mitt Romney and how, I really have seen over the past 8 years, probably 10 years at this point, how he truly has been willing to reach across the aisle and take the hits that, having beliefs and stand on things that are very against what his party, thrives on. So he has taken a lot of shots. He's taken a lot of insults. And I really can appreciate and respect the moves that he's made in the past few years. I have to respect them. Yeah,
no, you said it. It was very telling when the votes were cast and everybody was celebrating in the Senate chamber, and a bunch of them got up and walked out, and there he was on his side of the aisle clapping. And I mean, he was really clapping. Like it wasn't one of those things that he was just like, yeah, I voted that way, but I'm still going to be who I'm going to be. He was truly celebrating because it said to me that he believed in what he cast his vote for. And that spoke volumes. And I mean, look, I did not go to law school, right? I did not go to law school. So I don't know all the intricacies of the Constitution. I guess for me though, I was having a conversation with some of my real conservative Christian evangelical folk. And, they were talking about how, well, she obviously wants to get rid of the Constitution. I was like, I didn't get that from her. And then from what I understand from some of my law friends, and help me out if there's any law friends on here, that the Constitution your view of the Constitution can change. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can be a person who believes that it's supposed to be taking everything literally, or you can believe that it's a document that kind of moves with the times. I mean, it was developed 200 something years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, they didn't really like the Constitution when it was made. Like that's why they had to make amendments and all these other things to it. So I just think that I didn't get anything that would cause me to pause. And to be honest with you, I didn't think the judges were supposed to be about our political persuasions, were they? Like, aren't they supposed to be kind of unbiased?
That's what they're supposed to be. I mean, all judges are.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I did not watch the vote, but I did watch her speech. And Mason has a lot to say about it too.
Yeah,
I did watch her speech yesterday. She was so gracious and and just filled with gratitude, and it was beautiful. She quoted Maya Angelou, and just talking about how though she's the first, she doesn't want to be the last or the only, and how this is truly a revolutionary time in our country, and we're going through so much as a country. We have to take these moments to celebrate, and as not even just a country, the society of the world. We have to take these moments and really appreciate when something beautiful something like this happens.
232 years, 116 justices, 108 white men. Six of the 116 were women. 2 of them were black men. 1 was Latinx, and finally, after 232 years, 1 of them was a black woman. I mean, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie, especially when the majority of our country I think somebody took a picture of it and they showed what the court will look like. And it truly, first of all, it won't have a white male majority, which our country doesn't have a white male majority. And secondly, it actually looks more like a bag of Skittles than ever before. And I think that this is something to celebrate. I'm sorry for those that don't feel like they can, but I'm going to celebrate because I think it's worth celebrating. So
we all each side, all opinions have their time of disappointment and celebration, and that's how the world and politics works. So
what was it that was said? Elections have consequences.
That's it.
Which is why we have to vote. You want to see your political bent be represented, then you got to go and represent at the polls, right?
Absolutely.
Do it. So
and speaking of politics, elections, and consequences of elections, and all of that, let's talk about Uncle Joe. He kept his promise, nominating the first African American or Black Supreme Court woman as a Supreme Court justice. Let's talk about he did say that he would do this cancellation, or he said he would strongly consider it. Cancellation of student debt.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, look, they expanded it to August. I said they can go ahead and expand it till forever.
You listen, let's just let go. Let's just be free. Let's not play this game.
Right.
Let's not play this game. Let's just release this hold, this bondage.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
From millions of former students and current students. I mean, we just let it go.
What would you be willing? And I'm springing this on you, and I know this, you love it when I do this.
Oh yeah.
What would you be willing to give up in place of them saying, you know what, we will cancel all student debt? What would you be willing to give up? Like, what do you think would be a fair thing to give up? Like, what do you think you would get? I'm interested. Tennille Thomas just said, yes, release it. I agree, release it. But what would be something that would be fair to switch off for? Like, what would you be willing to give if they were able, like if they said we can do it, but you'd have to do this. I think I'd pay higher taxes. I think I think I would pay higher taxes.
I would pay the $4 at the pump.
You know what? I'm with you on that. Like y'all, this thing is that critical because when those payments start back up, I'm like, I don't even know where it's gonna come from. No.
God will provide.
Yeah, God will provide.
And right now he's providing by kicking that can down the street just a little while longer.
And God, are you saying that you're gonna provide by making sure that we don't have to pay back that federal debt? So they'll say each person will have to pay a percentage or pay a higher tax. I would go for that. I think that perhaps that could be the penalty, so to speak, because they would call it a penalty or whatever the cost to pay. But I would be willing to do that. I say that now. Then when that tax bill comes, I'll be like, well.
But if you look at it in comparison to what you may owe and others owe, I mean, it's a burden. But there's the other side to that, right? Let's talk about the people who paid their student loan off.
Yeah.
Who were diligent and paid it. Like, what do they get out of this?
Yeah.
So you and I were having our pre-production meeting, and my thing was, okay, so if you paid off your student loan, I think you should be rewarded and celebrated, right?
I think so too.
So we'll give you 100 points extra on your credit score.
The credit score. Yeah, that's what somebody said. Better credit. Tennille said better credit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they
that should be the conversation. I think you're right. I think that we shouldn't penalize the people who were diligent or were able to kind of do that. Yeah, go ahead and do that. And I think and see, and somebody was saying to me, well, look, you took the loan. And now I get all that. However, the way the loans were told to us we weren't really, first of all, we were what, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We were impressionable young folk. Number two, we didn't really know that we didn't know, and so I think that this is about righting a wrong, so to speak. I don't know. Anyway, Uncle Joe, look, go ahead and get it done. You might as well. Like,
keep on keeping your promises. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you talk about you know what? Speaking of keeping promises, let's go ahead and pay a bill.
All right.
Let's go pay a bill.
2020 gave birth to a lot of endeavors. Here in 2021, everyone has had to get in touch with their inner producer. Our man Garrett Brace is one of those guys you need on your team. We at Headspace with Dr. Mike are clients of his, as he ensures all of our audio files are crisp, clean, and cool. If you have any audio, video, and even lighting needs, hit him up at G Walt Services on Instagram. Remember, G Walt Services, servicing all your audio, video, and lighting needs.
So as I approach my birthday, yes, you're going to hear about it because it is a week from tomorrow. As I approach my birthday, you all, if you've been hanging out with me, you know that I do a lot of reflecting and take a lot of time, just look through some of the expectations I set for the year and expectations I have for the next year of life and that sort of thing. And I always get reflective during this time of year. And I was going through some old stuff and came across my notebooks for a speaking program that started it all for me. So you all know that I have been speaking for a lot. In college, I was on the speech and debate team and did competitions and stuff all through high school and college. And then I stumbled upon, and it wasn't by accident, I stumbled upon an awesome program sponsored by monster.com called Make an Account. Actually, I got in it through their diversity leadership program. But then I got into Make an Account, and Make an Account was phenomenal. It was some of the best speakers to this day. I got to hang out with some of the best speaking training. Every few months we would go off to somewhere in the Midwest and do our training to make sure we had our programs tight for when we literally traveled around the country, inspiring and motivating high school and college students to take advantage of the moment they found themselves in to make the time count and do what was necessary for ensuring success. So we had making your ultimate money skills, which was dealing with financial competency, financial success, making your college and career count. So it was for high school seniors, preparing them for life after high school. Either they were going to go into a career or go into college. Junior, making your college search count was the idea of, looking up what was necessary and doing the work to make sure you took advantage of this time to get into the best colleges. And one of the things that I realized that it is important for us to take advantage of the moments we find ourselves in. That's why today's Heads Up is called Making It Count. In our lives, the pandemic showed us that life is not promised, and we have to make every minute count in our lives. I think about just the fact that 2 years ago, there were people who had plans, for the future, and they didn't get to live them out. Like, they didn't get to see it. I think about the fact that I have a list, and I'm not using this as a merit badge, but I'm just saying I have 78 people. I was just thinking about this the other day. 78 people who over the last about 2.5 years, right, are no longer here. And these were people who I could, if they were alive today, I could call on the phone and they would ask me about my family. They would ask me about what was going on in my career. Like, these are people who are no longer here on earth, and it didn't expect it, didn't see it coming. But the pandemic kind of showed that, life is so precious and it can be gone in a matter of minutes. And so one of the things I want to encourage all of us is that we take advantage of making the opportunities we find ourselves in count, right? First of all, what you want to do is take time to truly decide what gets you excited. Now is the time to start bringing about, what is it that brings you joy? What is it that if you got out of bed, if you were told you wouldn't get paid to do it, you would still get out of bed. You would still put the work in and sacrifice in to get it done. I asked the question about the college loans. If we were told that all of our college federal loans will be forgiven, what would I be willing to trade off for it, right? I want you to think about, like, if you could do this thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? For me, any opportunity to speak and to teach other people and motivate other people. Like, if I do it for free sometimes, like I really do, like I actually do it for free. Like, there are even things that I do for my job because I love my job that's not really in my job description, but because I believe in what I'm doing. What is it that you want to do? Right? Really take some time to think about that. Find some folks that can actually help you with that. In other words, to think that through. Here's number 2. Start setting up systems and networks to get you there. What you need to start doing now is start figuring out this is what I want to do, and start figuring out how are other people doing it. You can start with social media. On Facebook, there are different groups for every type of hobby, for every type of career path. LinkedIn, you could, just do a Google search and find out what types of organizations exist that are doing what it is that you're interested in doing, and start finding some people who are doing it and start setting up a system, finding out, you may find out that, like, right now it's a little premature for you to start a business, but there's nothing wrong with starting the process of figuring out what can go into starting that business. I know some folk, one of the things that, I know some folk who want to buy a house, but they know that they're not financially in a position to buy a house. So you know what they start doing? They start going through and finding out, all right, what do I need to do? We've had Kim Merritt Fenoy come on and kind of talk about that. Like, right now you could start building up your credit. You can start making sure you're paying your debt to income ratio down. You could start making sure that you're clearing up your credit report and what it looks like on that. You can start building a savings account. And even if it's hard for you to put like a lot of money in your savings account, maybe just start small, $5 a day or $5 a week you put into your savings account, and then don't touch it, right? There are things that you can always be doing to build up to the point where when you look back, you're like, man, I didn't even realize I put all this work in, and here it is. And now I'm ready to step into what it is. Here's the third thing. Keep your eyes fixed on that goal. What is it that you're looking at doing, right? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to step into? Start keeping your eyes fixed on it, right? Do you have vision boards? One of the things I'm gonna get somebody to come on here and kind of talk about how we can set up our vision boards for, even we can do virtual vision parties or different things like that. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing one for Headspace. Maybe we'll have a special night where we'll do vision boards or something like that. I don't know. But the point is keeping your eyes fixed on what it is that you want to see. Cutting out pictures. I have a book that has different pictures of roller coasters that And I have on my TikTok page, I actually have links to different amusement parks and different roller coasters that I want to ride one day, because I'm still keeping my eyes fixed on that goal. Here's the fourth thing: surround yourself with people who make positive contributions. Y'all, we have enough negativity surrounding us that my inner circle doesn't need to have that as well. Who is it that's in your inner circle? Start really making some evaluations of that. Because then the next step is, when you start finding out the people who aren't making that positive contribution, you're going to have to let them go. Now, letting go sounds so cutthroat. And I don't mean that you like get to a point where like you never talk to them, you never do anything with them, you don't interact with them. But what I do mean is that you have to decide what letting go means, right? There are some people that you have in your immediate circle who actually are a part of your decision-making process that you've given them too much access. You got to let that go. You got to let them not be a part of that decision-making, because guess what? They're not moving you in the direction that you're supposed to go. And in turn, you're not making it count. And here's the last thing: move into your moment. At some point, you have to make that move. Some of you are there. Some of you are actually ready to make that move, but you're paralyzed by fear. You're paralyzed by intrepidation. You're paralyzed by the thoughts of what other people are going to think. You're paralyzed by the thing that it doesn't necessarily look orthodox, or it doesn't look traditional. It's not something that you've been comfortable with. But I learned a long time ago that insanity is expecting different results, but doing the same thing over and over and over again. Y'all, it's time for you to move into the next thing. With that being said, I want you all to make it count. And guess what? That's my heads up.
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show. We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
Woo! Make it count, Christy. Make it count. Make it count.
Excellent. Good job, Mike. Dr. Mike.
I appreciate it. What else we got going on? We got some other stuff. Other stuff are happening. What do we got?
Yeah, so this can be our celebrity segment, I suppose. This probably will take 2 segments.
Okay.
So we have to talk about the next phase of the Will Smith and Chris Rock drama.
Yeah, the saga.
So yes, so we learned this week that the Academy, I guess it was yesterday, they made a decision to ban Will Smith from the Academy for 10 years.
10 years. Wow.
10 years. So what do we think about that, Dr. Mike?
Whew. Well, first of all, I want to make sure people understand that does not mean he can't be nominated for any awards, because you don't need to be an Academy member to nominate. But if he gets nominated, he doesn't get an opportunity to vote for himself, because he won't be able to vote for the next 10 years. And then he won't be able to attend. So if he wins it, he just wouldn't be able to attend. They had to mail him his award. Wow. I don't know. I guess it could be worse. I guess he just could have been banned for life, right? And he did resign. So I think that's an element there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. How do you feel?
So I know this is the hot topic now. At some point, I'm sure very soon, something else will take its place in the headlines.
Sure.
Will made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
And we talked about elections having consequences.
Yeah.
Actions have consequences. And so he's receiving the consequences of his actions. I think those who may be wanting to like throw him away or whatever, I think that's very premature and unfair.
Yeah.
We've all had moments of disgrace in our lives where we have not done the best thing, where we've made the wrong decision, and we've had to pay the price for those choices. But we have to have grace, let him get I heard he's getting some kind of help, that he went into some kind of therapy to seek the root of this violent act, and why he felt the need to do this. But it'll pass, and I suspect in a few months it won't even be a huge. Well, it won't be a big thing anymore, and we'll
Christy,
get beyond this.
you know, you said something powerful there. You talked about that grace, right? And I've made mistakes in my short life. Like I did. Matter of fact, early on, I always talk about my one of the darkest days of my career was February 8th, 2006. I made some just dumb decisions, and it cost me. Like it cost me a lot. But you know what I appreciate about the Lord is the Lord, he restores,
Mm-hmm.
he refreshes, he renews. I'm actually getting choked up now because I'm just thinking about how there was a moment where I felt like I lost everything. And I look back now and see, you know what? I learned from that. I grew from that. And so I guess for me, my prayer is that through this experience, more than anything, he grows from this. I really do. Like, I just really, I've never, now, and for the record, I've never believed in canceling someone.
Mm-hmm.
If I cancel you, it is because you do something like egregious, like you storm the Capitol
Right.
and you justify it. You know what I mean? Like you actually go and you call me outside of my name racially, and you do things like that. Like that's what gets you canceled,
Mm-hmm.
in my book. But yeah, I'm not going to cancel him. I'm still going to, support anything that he does. I'm still going to watch Bel-Air because I hear it has another season coming up.
Yes, that's
Kevin
good.
said Will made a big mistake, but he was protecting his wife, and I think that should be commended.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like he said, I accept and respect
Yep.
the Academy's decision, and
Yep.
I believe we'll be fine, both career-wise and mentally. I think he's going to get what he needs to move forward in all ways.
But that I'm just going to tell you, y'all, that demonic principalities are real.
Didn't Denzel called it, didn't he?
And I, you know what he did though? He really did. And it almost makes you, now that you're starting to and knowing what we know, we're church babies. So we grew up in church, and so we know about all those things. Like, I almost wondered that comment that Denzel made, I almost even wonder if he was really talking about what people initially thought he was talking about, or was he talking about what was connected to him?
Ooh, now that's a nice transition. So,
seriously, because we said that devil thing, and I was just like, that thing worked with me. But then I thought about it, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Denzel, were you really prophesying?
We got a prophet in the midst, Denzel.
Man.
Yeah. And this whole thing with Jada and Will. Jada is back in the spotlight. They're, digging up old comments that she made about her not wanting to be married or not having. She didn't mind necessarily getting married. From what I read, it was the wedding, and her mom had pushed the wedding on her because she was pregnant, and how the wedding itself was a disaster, and all of this, and people are just bringing this stuff up, and people are really talking about Will's connection to Jada, and if him being married to Jada is really his downfall. And it has some meat to it. Ultimately, Will's responsible for his actions. Absolutely. I'm not saying that, but I'm just bringing up what others are saying about the Will and Jada connection, because it has seemed, at least in the last good 10 years, very toxic. Just very one thing after
I even remember when the entanglement thing came up. Like, just like we were led to believe that he was okay with it being brought up. I mean, they recorded it, I don't know, but he definitely was not settled with the whole situation. And they've thrown out there that whole Jezebel spirit, and I think that's something to consider. Like, I guess that's why.
You're going to have to define the Jezebel spirit, just in case people don't know what that is.
So, in layman's terms, Jezebel spirit is what we call a controlling spirit. It is it goes back in the day in the Old Testament. There was a king by the name of Ahab, and he wasn't necessarily he was not necessarily a godly king, and he married this woman by the name of Jezebel, and Jezebel directed and just really guided him to the point where he one of the initiatives that he did was try to kill all of the prophets, and he actually sought out to kill all the prophets. And so that's why when you study Obadiah was one of the ones who actually helped with protecting, like I think it was over 100 of God's prophets from the time, and really just kept them protected. And so that's just that spirit of control. And a lot of times it's assigned to a woman, right? Because it was a woman. But we have seen experiences where, you know, Jezebel's spirit can be with a man as well.
Exactly. Spirits don't have gender.
No, not at all.
So we need to make sure. A lot of times, especially if you grew up in the church, you oftentimes hear the Jezebel spirit being connected to a woman. But we need to be very clear that a Jezebel spirit a man can have a Jezebel spirit. If you're controlling, manipulative, then that is a spirit in which, you know, that's the Jezebel spirit. So we can't call whether or not Jada has that spirit or not. But it has been something that's been brought up. But it speaks to a greater thing. We have to be wise about the people we're connected to.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
That's important, because that's one of my prayers for Mason, right? I always pray that he surrounds himself and with the right kind of people, and he chooses his friends wisely.
That's right.
Right? Because that's key.
Yeah, that spirit, you know, it was funny. I was having a conversation with some friends on Marco Polo about another situation, and we brought up this Jezebel spirit thing. And as they were talking about it, it reminded me of that clip that goes around with Juanita Bynum talking about the cussing spirit.
Oh,
and
yes.
Cussing spirit. She said, I bumped my toe, and before I knew it, I said, whoa. And she said, did I say that? And all of a sudden, she said, that spirit is real. You know, we really do. But, you know, I think it goes back to, that's why when we have conversations about being equally yoked, that's why we have conversations about understanding where a person is on the spiritual level. It's extremely important. And I think that, you know, we got to be careful. We have all these different ideologies and philosophies that are out there. And, you know, at the end of the day, and I had to tell a friend of mine, I said, you know, Jada and Will don't claim to be Christians, right? They don't really claim, they may celebrate Christian holidays.
Not that I know of.
Right, but they don't claim. So for me to ascribe a biblical principle onto their relationship,
very good.
Dare I say it's unfair. You know, I would love to have seen it go a different way, but I can't call it. What I can speak to is Michael and Shavela, and you and Rob can speak to Christy and Rob. You know what I mean? Like, I can ascribe to that, but Jada and Will, there is definitely something there though.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be praying for them. I'm not gonna cancel.
No.
I'm not gonna cancel either of them. I'm not gonna
absolutely not. No.
But, one of my favorite characters is Stoney from Set It Off.
Yes.
Fact,
yes.
You know, I could watch any day that's on TV. I go back and I watch it.
Me too. That's one of the movies you just have to watch.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
Yes. But speaking about couples, we got a couple of couples that have been in the news. So we got Will and Jada. Now we got this thing with Sierra and Russell.
Why won't they leave him alone?
I know. They calling him corny.
They ain't hurting nobody. They ain't
hurting
nobody.
To me, Russell is a winner. He is. I don't care if he never wins the Super Bowl. Listen, Russell Wilson to me is a champ. He is a winner. He is a stellar husband from what I can see. He's a stellar father. And so there's this thing so the latest thing was apparently when Sierra and Russell were dating, like one of their first dates, I guess he pulled out his wallet and it was like the wallet was busted. And by this time, Russell was making money. Sierra was Sierra, you know, and the wallet was old or whatever. And she looked at him like, why do you have this busted looking, you know, wallet? And his line was, this goes to, I'm consistent. I'm consistent. Mm-hmm. You know, when I rock with you, basically I'm with you. And, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm going to, you know, keep you around. Just, you know, he just brought it to his character. Right. Mm-hmm. And that was apparently that was the line that really, so that's what got Sierra on his train, on his side. And he is being blasted about that, because that's corny. And I don't know, what is it with this whole thing with men need to be bad boys in order for women to be drawn to them. I know you might have some insight on this, Mike.
Girl, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a quick break because
we're gonna come back to that.
To say. Yeah, I got a lot to say. Let's pay a bill real quick, Crystal.
Okay.
I got a lot to say.
Our world is filled with polarizing topics that land most people on one side or the other. The Headspace with Dr. Mike team isn't afraid to take them on. Monthly, we will invite people on both sides of some of the most controversial topics, from the serious to the silly, to debate their positions. We look forward to charged discussions that will inform and entertain. DM your head-to-head show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook at Headspace DM.
Yeah, so I got a lot to say about that. First of all, what is corny about taking care of your wife and your kids? I guess, first of all, he got raps because he didn't want to have sex with her before they got married, which, hello.
Heaven forbid.
Right? Okay. Like, all right. Secondly, like, I don't know any scandals that he's been caught in. Like, he's been consistent. That just drives me nuts. But yeah, I remember that. I wanted to ask you about that. Like, I remember growing up, there were young ladies who just deserved so much more. And they didn't even look my way because I was just a nice guy. Like, I actually got told that, like, you're just a nice guy. Like, what? Well, this one right here he's already got a rap sheet and he's not even 16 yet. He's, his lips are purple from obvious partaking in, illegal
extracurricular activities.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm on the wrestling team. I'm in class. I'm a class officer. Like, I'm involved. I am on the trajectory to really be doing something with my life. And for the record, before anybody even wants to get in there or you get cut off, I won. Like, I actually, Sheryl, I wouldn't have it any other way. So there's that. The Lord worked that out, right? So
yes.
The Lord worked it out. So maybe that's what it was. Just the Lord was just blocking
right.
because he knew my blessing was waiting for me in Wilmington, Ohio. Who knows? But the point is, like, that used to drive me nuts. Like, for real though, like, what was that about? Like, what was that about? Like,
Mike, I mean, I'm looking back over my life, the guys that I've dated. And I honestly, I don't have I've dated some bad boys. And I've dated some, button up, good guys, just on that good. I've done both. And it's something twisted about our society. And, there's some kind of appeal to bad boys. Now, as you grow older, you know better. But when you're younger, I don't know, sometimes it's just, it's been ingrained in us through movies, through, cultural experience, that the bad boy is the one that's going to protect you. Maybe it's out of protection. If they have a few stripes, then they'll be able to protect your honor and all of that. So maybe it's a thing about being protected. But there is this appeal to the bad boy, and it goes completely against, of course, the word and what we should be desiring and what is actually good for you. You want somebody who's on a good trajectory. I can't say that word today. Trajectory, and who has a good spirit and is family oriented, and you want those things. But I don't know, something about our society wants the guy who has the 7 baby mamas, like Future.
Yeah, like Future, right?
So
many buy into the lie that a bad boy will protect and take care of you when most are all about themselves. Thank you, Mark. By the way, Mark, Keep It Real Conversations on Mondays at 7 p.m. Keep It Real Conversations. You definitely want to check those out. But yeah, he just confirmed what you just said. They buy into the lie that a bad boy is going to protect and take care of you. I just, and it's not judgment. It's just, it always fascinated me Like, really, this is what you're going for? Okay, like if that's what you want. But then the funnier part about it is you have situations like Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, right? Who, if you remember when they got together, people were like, oh, he's going to drive her down. You know, he's going to knock her down. And then lo and behold, we find out that Nippy was hanging out with the Nips.
Listen, Nippy was something else, wasn't she?
Like, it was like found out that I think now we're finding out that Bobby was actually the collective one. Like, he was actually kind of trying to deter her away from it.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby had his stuff too.
Sure.
He's not an innocent, he wasn't innocent. But certainly Whitney was not as innocent as we had been led to believe. Or actually, it wasn't even her. From the documentaries that I've seen, she never wanted to be this image, but that what was thrown onto her, and so she felt like she had to maintain it, all that time. And you got to be who you are. You're going to eventually be who you are, no matter how much.
You're saying that she didn't want to have that pretty princess image.
No, that was thrown onto her.
Really?
Yeah, when Clive Davis, found her, and that they had to project her because they wanted her to be appealing to everyone, so not just Black community. She needed to cross over, and that's what she was. She was the ultimate crossover artist.
She really was,
because she had this image, and that's why they were just appalled when she went after the bad boy. But honey, that's what she wanted the whole time.
She wanted the whole time.
Yes.
Well, she is from Jersey, so I mean, there's that.
You know what? You're gonna get us in trouble with the Jersey folks.
The people from Jersey, they know. They already know.
You are terrible.
Look, we would do it about anybody from Baltimore. Be like, well, they are from Baltimore. That's
true. That's true.
When you know. Well, yeah. Get y'all a good boy, ladies. Get y'all a good boy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. There's a lot of good boys.
What about you? Did I tell you about J-Lo?
Wait, J-Lo's still a thing? Like that? There's something. What is she doing now?
Well, she's with Ben Affleck now. Excuse me.
She got back to Ben.
Right, she's back to Ben, but apparently they got engaged.
They're engaged?
Apparently.
He gave her back the ring he gave her before?
Listen, I'm over J-Lo, and I hate to put it all on her because it's the men too. It's the men too, but like her and her entanglements are getting on my nerves. She just cycles through them and comes back to them, and like nobody's talking about this. Is not a good look. And Ben Affleck is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Is he?
He's got a problem. He's got a drinking problem.
Still, I thought he went to rehab for that.
Yeah, but I don't like the way he treated what the other Jennifer. He just got to think about Jennifer
Aniston.
No. The one he married, wasn't his wife named Jennifer?
Oh yeah.
Was it Lawrence? Jennifer?
Not Jennifer Lawrence.
No, not Jennifer Lawrence, but the other Jennifer. He married a Jennifer, and he's been talking about her horribly in the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not feeling Ben at all, and I'm definitely not feeling J-Lo. And she can't. Darner. Thank you, boo. Thank you, Shavela. Yeah, but it was a Jennifer. I knew it was a Jennifer. But
he doesn't like Jennifer's, huh?
He apparently.
Well, look, he's back to Jennifer. Let that man live.
Let him go. Be free. I need her to find somebody out of the industry. Just.
I always wonder about that. Yeah, I do get fascinated about people. I mean, that's actually something to discuss too. Just why do they insist on staying with people that are together in the industry? But I don't know. He crazy thinking J-Lo is suddenly sane.
Listen.
Listen.
She's the common denominator. Something's going on there. Don't know what, but something's going on.
Who got the Jezebel in that?
I don't know about the Jezebel. That's just that's another spirit. I'm not gonna talk about.
Well, look, we can apply Jezebel to everything, right?
Yeah, sure we could.
Oh, let's take a quick break and then we're gonna come back.
Focused on photo, versed in video, For Any Media brings visions to life from headshots to family shoots. casual candids to structured scenes. Our team can provide whatever you need. In Baltimore, you may have seen us at local events such as the Poly City Tailgate or the Randallstown Romp. You can find us on all social media platforms at the number 4 Any Media. For any media, for anything. Contact us so we can create.
Well, Christy, we're talking about these these relationships. Did you hear about the okay, because I gotta really set this up right, because the Parkland shooting down in Florida, they're in the process where they're putting the jury together because the shooter, remember that he shot up the school, and the shooter he's since what is it? He said that he was guilty. How he pled guilty, but now they're going to have a trial to determine if he's going to basically be put, kept in prison for life.
Right.
And so they're in the process of trying to select the jury. And so this is a serious case. So what we're about to share, I don't want anybody thinking that we are belittling the seriousness of the situation.
No, this is completely separate.
Yeah, we're not belittling the situation, because it is a situation. However, if you get called, I'm not going to lie to you. If I'm going to get called into some kind of jury duty for something like that, I'm going to try to figure out how to get out of it. I'm going to try to figure out something like my foot is flat. Like I have, I'm going to figure out something like my eye twitches too much. I have like 7,000 different jobs. I'm gonna find something.
Because that's gonna be a serious trial.
I'm gonna figure, because that's gonna be a serious situation. So this was a new one.
An excuse.
Yeah.
An excuse to get out of jury duty. Are we gonna play the video?
The audio wasn't real good with it, so I'm gonna have to let it go. But tell them what happened at this Guadir.
So jury selection is going on, and the judge is inquiring of the potential jurors of their availability to be part of this jury and all of that. And so there was a juror who was off camera, and the judge is inquiring about her availability, July this, July that, and the lady is saying no.
She had to work,
she had to work. She had a child, had to go here. It was somebody's birthday. Whatever, reasonable things.
It was her birthday and it was the child's birthday.
Yes. So things. Reasonable things. I mean, I don't know if that gets you out of jury duty, but she was explaining what was going on in her life. And she further shared that another reason why she could not participate in jury duty is because she had to meet with her sugar daddy.
Yes. She was with her sugar daddy every day.
Every day. And she said, and the judge said, "I'm sorry, you're what?" She said, "I'm sorry." In her brain, I know she was saying, clearly I did not hear what I think I heard. So let me have her repeat it. She said, "My sugar daddy." Now the woman's off camera. Thank God. She said, "Yes, I'm married and I have a sugar daddy."
Yeah, she said, "I'm married and I have a sugar daddy that I meet with on a daily basis." That's why she could not be in the jury, the jury for that trial.
But here is, as my mother would say, the coup d'etat. It worked.
She's not on she's definitely not on that trial.
She is not on that trial.
Dare I say she probably won't be called back for any trials.
Listen, sometimes you got to go for it, honey. But let me tell you, that took me out. That took me out when she said, "I got to see my sugar daddy daily."
She said, "I'm married and I got to see my sugar daddy daily."
She said, "Listen, I got bills to pay and I got to do what I got to do." But I thought that was hilarious. And the judge, please try to go find that video, family, out there.
You do.
Because you have to see the judge's expression. You never see the woman, but the judge is like, "I'm sorry, you're what?"
Nope, not at all. Not at all. I may even have it. I could put it in the. Yep, I have it. Put it right in the. I put it right in the chat.
Oh, good. Put
it right in the chat for everybody. Yeah, go watch it.
You have to go watch that, because that was hilarious.
Congratulations to Kansas for winning the NCAA.
Yes.
North Carolina. No, was it no? Yeah, it was North Carolina.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I wasn't following, but I did know that Kansas won.
Yeah, North Carolina was winning at the beginning, then second half, Kansas.
Yeah, who did they play? North Carolina, right?
Yeah, they played North Carolina.
Yeah, they beat North Carolina.
Yep, because North Carolina beat Duke.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, so congratulations to them.
Yoo-hoo.
Baseball season has started back up finally.
So opening day is Monday, right?
Well, opening day is officially like I think yesterday, but for Baltimore it is Monday. Yes,
that's
Baltimore,
what I meant. I meant the Orioles.
Yeah, the Orioles will play tomorrow, but I think some places opening day has already happened. So the Orioles, we lost our first one. Surprise.
Shocker. One of these days, the O's will be good again. I don't know what day that will be.
Yeah, but it'll happen.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, all right.
Are we going to a break?
No, what'd you say?
No, I was going to say, did you hear about Calais Campbell coming back to the Ravens?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It's official.
Yes, I thought he was going to be gone for good.
Yeah, I did too.
So I'm excited
about
that.
Did Lamar get a did he get his contract yet?
I don't think so. No, he's still, doing a dance.
Well, I this is something fascinating. And you're a football girl. Like, is it unusual? Does it seem a little unusual, all the trading, like the high profile trading that seems to be happening? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was really surprised. We talked about Russell Wilson earlier. I was really surprised to see him get traded to another team because I didn't think he was in danger of like a problem. But they're talking about Baker Mayfield from Cleveland possibly going somewhere. Mm-hmm. Of course, we had the Watson from Houston coming up to Cleveland. Then of course you had the Tom Brady thing. Like, I just think it's just a little interesting. Just a lot of stuff happening with quarterbacks.
It's a lot of moving and shaking going on right now. I'm interested to see where people eventually land. Mm-hmm. But this is what the off season is all about. It's about these trades and these moves being made to see what your team could potentially be. And I'm just hoping, that the Ravens get who they need to get on board and they get our boy Lamar nailed down. Please. So we can set up our team for a win. I do believe there's a Super Bowl in my spirit. For the Ravens.
I do too. I think we're going to see a Super Bowl next couple of years.
Next couple of years is coming.
Yeah, I believe that. Kevin asked me, do we know if the O's play the Rockies? I'm almost positive because I think they do that interleague play stuff. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they do play them. Wouldn't that be something, Kevin? We'll have to compete about that. Oh, before we go to break, congratulations to Tiger Woods.
Oh, yeah.
I think I thought he was done. Like the accident 14 months ago, I thought he was done. But it looks like he's out there at the Masters and he actually got himself through qualification, so he'll actually be playing in the big part of it. And okay,
good for him.
Let's go ahead and take a quick break and then close on out.
All righty.
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show. We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
Well, one thing I want to remind everybody about is that tomorrow is Palm Sunday. We are officially heading into Holy Week. So this is probably, this is probably one of the, look, every Sunday is important, but this is one of the most important parts of the story, especially for those of us who are Christians, because it's what makes it what it is. So Palm Sunday was commemorating the triumphant entry of Jesus into Jerusalem. Everybody was excited to see the king arrive, and they were excited. Hosanna to the highest, waving the palm branches. The kids were singing and celebrating. And then just a week later, it all went another way. All went another way. But you know what? We are the better for it.
Amen.
To that end, Christy, you got any good big plans for the weekend?
Nope. Just gonna just relax and get ready for the work week.
You know what? Isn't that it though? Isn't that nice? I gotta give a special shout out to little Mike.
What?
Brother hit the honor roll. He made the honor roll.
Excellent. Go, Mike.
Made the honor roll.
Congratulations.
He made the honor roll, got his report card yesterday. And one of the things I make sure I let Mike know is that I am proud of him all the time. So
Yes.
just because he made honor roll doesn't mean like I'm now all of a sudden proud of him. Always proud of him. But I'm excited for him that he was able to just meet the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And he worked hard. The fourth grade kicked his butt. It was kicking his butt. And he met the challenge and bumped his grades on up. Every last one of his grades, all A's and B's. So little Mike, so proud of you, brother. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and just want to let you know that Daddy is so happy for you. So yeah.
Yay, Mike.
So we'll be celebrating Mike and all that stuff. So to that end, everybody, we wish you all the best that God has for you. Wish you many blessings. Christy, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And, I have to acknowledge my team because they Christy sacrifices an hour and a half of her Saturday mornings and then also some time during the week to make sure that this happens, and not to mention the other members of the team. And then Crystal, of course, you always are there producing us and stuff and making us look good. So I don't take any of that for granted. So I just want you to know publicly, I love you all. Thank you so much for making Headspace with Dr. Mike what it is. And to that end, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Headspace with Dr. Mike. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to follow us on social media at Headspace DM to continue the dialogue with other Headspacers regarding today's show. Everyone is filling their headspace with something. The question is, what are you filling yours with? Tune in next week.